Hello stunners, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another little movement snack with me. I am really in my lovely little sun puddle this morning. Things are heating up again. I've lost count of how many heat waves we've had in the UK so far, but here's another one. And if you can hear some noise in the background, I've decided to put the fan on me this morning because, like I said, things are heating up and we just need a little bit of freshness, all right? It's a struggle. I'm on carpet right now, okay? Pray for me. So I just recorded a live wake and wriggle practice, which was all about a lower body release. Very, very gentle into the spine, the hips, a little bit of love for the hamstrings. And I finished that practice and I was like, okay, what do I feel like I still need? And I feel like my upper body, particularly the chest, the shoulders, the neck, still feel like they need a little bit of love. So this is going to be a quick fire upper back release, okay? And I've brought in the myofascial release ball because we might throw a little myofascial release in as well, again across chest and shoulders. The way in which I typically like to use this for upper body release is actually using a wall, but I don't really have a suitable wall space for recording, so I'm going to talk you through it as it's very intuitive anyway, and I'm going to try and demonstrate it as best I can whilst on the floor. You can also do the floor as well. So yes, quick little upper body release, and let's get started. We're actually going to hop straight in with some movements pretty quickly, okay? So we're going to bring ourselves up onto our hands and onto our knees and have a moment to, of course, spread the fingertips nice and wide. Nestle the knees underneath the hips, and I like to tuck the toes under, especially initially, so the feet can also get a little bit of love here. So you can have sometimes just to gently shift the weight forwards and backwards, all right? Introducing some weight into the hands, checking in with the extremities of the body. So as you shift the weight forwards, how does it feel to let the wrist bear a little bit of weight? And as you shift the weight back, how does it feel to have that nice stretch out through the soles of the feet, okay? So whilst we are focusing through upper body today, just given a chance for these extremities, these smaller places within the body that often get a little bit overlooked, just checking in with them as well. All right, really, really well done. And after a few moments, you can start to circle the shoulders around the wrists, and it's just a nice way to settle into our practice, yes, with some movement, but of course with this real awareness as well. So still taking the time to honor whatever's here. Maybe you've arrived onto your mat feeling somewhat rushed, okay? Maybe things are feeling particularly noisy or chaotic, so let's just use these first few opening movements to kind of slow things right down. And of course, honor that you made it here, you made it to your practice space. That is enough, all right? We're gonna take a big breath in and a big breath out. Beautiful. Now let's, of course, gradually bring that to a close. Let's take some cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're going to send the belly down, heart space forwards, and up tailbone lifting. Now, if you're practicing this early on in the morning, you might be feeling particularly stiff and achy. So this doesn't need to be your full movement just yet. So feel free to ease in. Gradually tucking the chin towards the chest, gradually tucking the tailbone under, starting to round through the back. Beautiful. And then, of course, moving through this at your own steady, comfortable pace. It's your own inhale taking you into that rise. And it's your own exhale taking you into this dive. Really, really well done. Okay, nice. So keeping that going and letting it build and build as much as it wishes to. So maybe on the inhale, see if we can rise the heart space up just a little bit more. On the exhale, seeing if we can round to the back just a little bit more. All right. And of course, this is your practice, so feel free to make it exactly what you need it to be. So you can still incorporate a slight shift of weight forwards and backwards, maybe. Notice if there's a particular moment, so on this rounding through the back, maybe you have a moment where you shift the weight forwards, and then a moment where you shift the weight back, just to really get into the lower spine there, before then rising the heart space up. So again, you've got time and space to enjoy the fullness of the movement, okay? The entirety of the movement, not just the moment the heart space lifts or the moment we round to the back. All these intricate moments, even as you travel from one place to the next. All right, really well done. Okay. And then again, making it our own, so perhaps the ribs want to start to circle round and around a little bit. The head and neck is now able to get a bit more involved, and of course you can still be shifting weight forwards, backwards, side to side, all good. And with this, again, you can keep that circular motion round and around, but there doesn't need to be that set pattern. You can mix it up and go back round and around the other way. Why not? Nice. Really, really well done. We're going to take a few more slow, steady drinks of breath in. Slow, steady breath out. Nice, really, really well done. Okay, and then from here, as you inhale, gradually bring it through to your neutral spine. I'm going to take one of my favorite movements to really wake up through the upper back and across the chest. You're going to shift the weight towards your right hand as you drag these left fingertips back and up. Slight twist, all right? But you're going to keep the weight equal across both knees. So sometimes that right knee wants to drag back underneath you as you open out to the left. Can you keep that right knee underneath you and maybe even shift the weight into that right knee so the twist comes out of the hips and into the spine. Take a big breath in. Now as you exhale, start to reach that left arm up and above. You really want to stretch it beyond the top of the mat as best as you can. And then think your puppy dog. It's like a half puppy dog. So you're going to sink, left armpit down towards the earth, heart space lands, and then slowly let the bum glide back towards the heels feet. Left hand drags back along the earth. So you kind of come through a child's pose there. And then inhale, rise it back up into that twist. Left arm circles up. We take that again. Exhale, reaching the arm up and above to the top of the mat. And then again, press the armpit down, press the chest down, and then slowly send the bum back. Beautiful. And just allow yourself to softly move through this a couple times. So as you reach the fingertips forwards and as you start to send the bum back, it's like you're being drawn in two different directions. In fact, multiple directions. Fingertips out ahead of you, bum back behind you. Heart space to earth. Nice. Let's go one more full round. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, reaching the fingertips forwards. And then again, let the heart space press down. Nice. And we drag it back and up. Okay. Inhale, send your left arm up to the sky. Nice. And as we exhale, of course, we're going to thread the needle. So you're going to dive that left hand down, reach it underneath you over towards your right hand side. And think about bringing that left shoulder over to the right side of the mat. Nice. Left side of the face comes down toward the earth as well here. You can keep right fingertips just in front of the face with the right elbow pointing up to the sky. Or maybe go ahead and stretch your right fingertips further forward. So again, hips are still up nice and high. Left fingertips reaching to the right. Right fingertips reaching out ahead. Nice. Now feel free to think about that little swing of the hips. So think about swinging the hips ever so slightly to the left. Now you really want to anchor down to that left knee. And just that slight shift of weight is going to help us to access kind of underneath that left shoulder blade a little bit more. Beautiful. All right. And then again, take another slow, steady breath in. Steady breath out. Beautiful. Feel free to drag that right hand back in underneath you to give yourself a little bit of a push so you can gradually rise up, unthread that left arm and bring that left hand back in underneath you. Nice. From here, second side. So left hand rooting. Right arm is going to circle back and up. So again, we find that twist, that rotation. So again, that left knee might want to drag back, but can we keep that left knee in underneath us? Swing the hips to the left. As you exhale, we reach right fingertips up and above. So again, you want to reach them beyond the top of the mat. And then again, press the armpit down and slowly drag it back. Beautiful. Inhale, right arm back and up to the sky through that revolved tabletop. And then exhale, stretch it forwards. And then again, think half puppy dog. Nice. Press the armpit down, press the chest down, and then slowly glide it back. Beautiful. Going to move through that twice more. Inhale, up. And the exhale, stretch it forwards, dive it down. One more full round here. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, stretch it forwards, nice. And then again, dive it down. Okay, nice. And then from here, as we inhale, again, we're going to sweep right arm back and up to the sky, that twist. And then exhale, thread this right arm underneath you for your thread the needle. Okay, so again, right fingertips reaching over to the left. Think about bringing this right shoulder down to the left side of the mat as best as you can. Right side of the face landing. And left hand could again stay in front of you with the elbow pointing up to the sky, so you can use that as a little bit more leverage to roll that left shoulder back maybe. Or you might stretch the left fingertips forwards, all right? And again here, the hips might be swinging to the left, so think about swinging the hips to the right, And again, that's going to allow us to access right underneath that right shoulder blade a little bit more. All right. Okay, big breath in. Big breath out. Super. And then from here, drag that left hand back in front of you so we can push down to those left fingertips, and we start to rise up, unthreading that right arm. And again, we're going to bring it down underneath this. Okay, so from here, taking our full puppy dog, so again, hips stay nice and lifted over the knees. Let's reach both hands forwards rather. Take a breath. And then exhale, slowly diving it down. Now maybe your forehead lands down to the earth. If you've got a bit more space here, you could also bring your chin down towards the earth, but nothing needs to be forced, all right? If it feels nicer to kind of grip the edges of your mat with your fingertips, that's okay, and kind of press the mat forwards, almost like you want to pull the mat apart, maybe. Okay. And maybe your forearms come down to the earth. Maybe that gives you a bit more support. Maybe this feels like a bit of a stretch for you. But as best as you can, reach out through those fingertips and lengthen the arms. Okay. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to softly glide to the bum back. Now again, keep thinking about reaching the fingertips out ahead of you. So you're melting it back into your child's pose. Feel free to have a moment. Wriggle the knees out a little bit wider, perhaps. Beautiful. All right, and then from here, palms of the hands are going to come together. So fingertips are still reaching towards the top of the mat, but wriggle the palms of the hands together. And you're going to gradually lift the fingertips and point them up to the sky so the thumbs might eventually come to rest towards the back of your neck. You might walk the elbows a little bit further forwards. You might squeeze the elbows together just a little bit. Nice. We stay nice and curled up into this child's pose, so bum back towards the heels, feet, heart space sinking down towards the earth, and you get an extra little bit of lengthening up through the triceps here. Okay. One more breath in. Breath out. And then gradually releasing the hands all the way back down. And then from here, walk the hands towards you. So you're going to start to roll it up through the spine. If it feels comfortable to come to kneeling, that's kind of where we're heading. So you're going to gradually bring the knees a little bit closer towards one another and see how it feels just to rise up nice and tall. Maybe a nice big circle of the shoulders forwards and up. And then back and down. And in fact, feel free to go ahead and take that a couple times, all right? That big lift of the shoulders forwards and up. And back and down. Nice, welcoming in just a little bit more movement into this space, okay? And then from here, maybe the palms of the hands come together in front of the heart space. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, interlace the fingertips, press the palms of the hands away. And then we're just going to lift it up nice and high to the sky. Let the heart space rise. Maybe wriggle the arms back behind your ears. And of course, you can wriggle into this as much as you choose to. Just a slight sway from side to side. Or that circular motion around and around. Go for it. Why not? Okay, if kneeling doesn't feel great, you can always come to cross-legged. You can prop yourself up. Always okay. All right, take another big breath in. Big breath out.